it ends with, I didn't even know that was possible. This is about a breakthrough with a money mindset that I was facing. And it's a block that we've heard before, but there's an interpretation I feel like I have that might help you. So stick around if you're interested. Hi, y'all. I'm the Angel of Love. Welcome to my channel. And the Oracle, but we won't get into that. Anyway, so this mindset that we've heard of before, you've all heard it before, right? That because of the way we've been conditioned to believe that like rich people or wealthy people can't be close to God. We've been shown this over and over, right? It's harder for a rich person to get into heaven than for a camel to go through the eye of the needle, right? Like that's conditioning. And that is like a very long-standing belief, not just in like collectively, right? So not just with you, but probably in your family, probably in someone else's family, probably in all the things that we've been seeing. Even think about the language we've been hearing recently. Like, I don't know, in the past 20 years or so, like eat the rich. And we know that like it's hard to be an ethical billionaire, but times are new. Times are changing because we're the ones who are rising up. But if we don't believe that we can do good with our money, if we don't believe that we can be good and hold money, that's the limiting belief. It's not just like rich people can't be good or being rich is like shameful. Right? Because of the visibility, people say this kind of thing, like the visibility of being rich is shameful. Having money is shameful because there's so many people that don't have, right? And because, oh, this and that. First of all, you don't know what we're going to do with our money. The people that are saying that are still attached to a lack mindset. And I know that because I was one of them in a way, not that person, because I never said like eat the rich, but how do I say this? So the shift is that it wasn't about like, it was about God for me. It was always about God for me. That like, if I was going to be rich, then somehow I would lose it all. I would become this corrupt person that no longer follows God. You know how people like turn away when they have, and that's why we get tested with little so we can be trusted with much. So the option to have much is available to us, but we have to be kind of trained to hold that and stay connected. It's a yes and mindset. And that's what we're going into with like Firehorse and all that other stuff. But just this year is like the beginning of something very new. And I can feel it. You can feel it. Like the shift is coming. So also that suffering mindset that we're taught about, you know, like there's all these little things that kind of build into this thing that, yes, can manifest as shame, but it's also this like doubt that you can do both, right? It makes it either or. It makes it separation. And we're talking about a unity God. We're talking about a God that does both, right? Being tested with less so that you can hold more. Because God said, I will never leave you or forsake you. Are you hearing me? So that means like, this is where I kind of shifted and broke through. I had this really deep session like with myself and God, of course. And basically I was like, okay, if I will never be abandoned or forsaken, that means I won't be abandoned or forsaken when I have much. That means I won't be abandoned or forsaken when I'm wealthy. That means I won't be abandoned or forsaken when I'm a millionaire. When you're a millionaire, you will not be abandoned or forsaken when you're a millionaire. It's safe to be wealthy. And we need to, the kingdom of heaven is asking us to accept that safety, to accept this universal truth that it's a yes and kind of situation, that you can do both, because greater works you'll do. You'll be able to do more. If you have more, you'll be able to do more. Now, this is also if you're regulated and all of these things. Like, you have to have your infrastructure, your structure in place. So you need to be like in your crystalline form. You know what I mean? You need to have gone through the transformation. So if you're not there, this will still feel kind of strange and kind of like, no, it's so hard, the camel, the needle, right? But even feeling that it's hard, right? So if you don't even think that work and effort and having can be easy, then that's where you're at. And that's okay. I'm not knocking that. But I'm talking about if you believe all of that, you've gone through the transformation, and now you're still like, well, I feel like there's a little block. Because like I'm saying, fire horse energy is going to burn away even the smallest limiting belief, because those small things are tiny little roots, tiny little cords that are connecting you to doubt, that are connecting you to things that are keeping you away from your fullest potential, away from your fullest performance in your purpose, and rising into that. And so it's all going to be burned off, right? If you're willing and open and all of those things. So moving forward here. If I will never be abandoned or forsaken, then that means when I have little, I'm not abandoned or forsaken. When I'm lacking, I am not abandoned or forsaken. This goes for you too. When you are struggling, when you are a buffoon, when you are intelligent, when you are wise, when you are dumb, when you are carefree, when you are careless, you are not being abandoned or forsaken. So when you are wise, when you are wealthy, when you are holding more, when you are using your money for fun, it's safe to play. When you are using your money for good, when you are using your money just to treat yourself, when you are using your money for leisure, when you are using, and you have this abundance mindset that like you can have, and it's safe to hold, and it's safe to have and use and play with, more joy. Greater works you'll do. You'll be providing more joy. You'll be able to do more. You'll be able to give more. You'll be able to be more generous. It's so that more can come through you. It's not because you'll be abandoned and you'll be disconnected from God and you'll be cut off and then you're like thrown into a sulfur pit or in some kind of mindset of being thrown into a fiery furnace, right? Some sort of purgatory mindset. No, you're going to be provided for so that you may abound in your good works. In all things at all times, having all that you need so that you may abound. Abound is joyful. Abounding is joyful. More joy. Y'all, I'm telling you, it's coming. When I shifted this for myself, something inside of me, like it's like two people, right? First of all, I felt my light body connecting and glowing and growing inside of my skin, almost like, you know how your fascia is like up against your skin. It's like the light was glowing inside of me, emphasizing this more, emphasizing you'll be brighter. This is all a part of that. So there's that. And then something inside of me, like another version of me, broke down into tears. So I'm holding myself. God's holding me. I'm holding myself. And then the part of me that had that limiting belief burst into tears. And she's weeping because she didn't even know it was possible. She didn't know it was possible that she could do both. She could be wealthy and not be corrupt. She could be wealthy and have God's support. That what God was saying, which she knew, we all like know it. But it's hard to believe, especially when the world is trying to betray you with all this distortion to tell you that, oh no, eat the rich, So then you don't want to become rich, right? You're like, well, I don't want to become rich. I want to help people on the ground. And it's like, sure, but imagine how much more you could do, right? It's okay. It's safe to have, to hold, to do more with your wealth, with your money, to have fun, to have joy with your money, to treat yourself, to please your family and friends, to grant access to people who don't have it, to be generous, to be open-hearted, to give back, to give to others, to give to yourself. You get the idea. But she broke down in tears, and it was just so crazy. Like, compartmentalized, right? I'm holding myself as this version of me lets go of this limiting belief. She broke free. She freed herself from this chain. And it is exactly like that. Imagine someone who just feels like something she felt she had to believe. It's not even that. It's like, it feels like a chain. It feels like being chained, right? So she broke free from that. And immediately, more joy, all this praise starts pouring out. So that's just something to kind of expect if you do this work, or if you need help, you're welcome to work with me. But this isn't necessarily a plug. This is just, I'm just sharing. So, yeah, it was a big one. And boom, reset. Because we're in the great reset of sorts. And this is just the beginning. This is just part of it. And we need to get online. We need to get on board. And we need to really allow this process to bring forth the openness and the willingness and the encouragement, and like really let the flow come through. And in order for that to happen, we have to be like available, right? And so you have to believe that there's more. You have to believe you can do more. Like, you just have to believe in yourself, in like God, in your guidance. Like, you just have to believe more. You know what I mean? And if that isn't clear, we can talk about it. Because it's the way it's coming through for me is this like, it's this ancient wisdom that we know that gets distorted when we come here, that plagues people for generations and turns them into these robots and enslaves them in their mind. This is the breaking free part that people are talking about. But it's not just about material success. Like I said, I was fine. I was like, I'd rather not have, because I'm provided for. You don't understand. Like, I could have almost nothing and be provided for. It comes because I'm connected. My fear was being disconnected from God and not being connected. By having more, I thought it was going to tear me away. It's going to bring me and you and us closer to God. You're available to be closer to God. The time that's coming, you are ready to be closer to God with your wealth, in your wealth, using your wealth, closer and more connected. Imagine how connected you are now. 10 times more connected, if that, maybe more, with your wealth, in your wealth, using your wealth for joy, for play, for fun, for purpose, for energetic stability, for clearing, for blessings, for beauty, for grace. You know what I mean? For mercy. My God. It's good, y'all. Thank you for watching. I love you. Bye.